are now on air.
Hey, welcome to the dialogue. It's Ed with Free Circle. Like always, I hope you're having a good day. Let me get some headphones on. Excuse me. All right. Yeah. So it's been a heck of a week. It's Friday. Of course, on Friday we wind things down for the week, and boy, it has been a week. However, it's move on and roll on. Big old learning curve in this new way of life for us. So we've been working on learning WordPress, taking our time to get our website up and flowing and working, and experimenting, doing the different things that WordPress does so I can learn the ins and outs of it. It's an interesting, easy platform to use. I'm impressed with WordPress platform. Widgets and plugins, and yeah. So by the start of the year, we'll have everything nailed down to how we want to address things. We're probably going to change the theme. I'm going to work in the background on a new theme, and you know, it's kind of one of those put another project on the burner thing. But yeah, we want to move forward with the website. We're working on getting things the way we want it to look like, and line it out where everything's going to be working properly. And that's a learning curve, you know, when you haven't been doing website building and all of that for quite some time. It takes a little bit to get back into the swing. However, we're working on it and getting things up and going as quick as possible. There's a page, but it's rapidly changing all the time because I'm searching for different widgets and plugins, and you know, I'm working on understanding how all the features work, and it's a interesting little platform to use. So we're diligently on the quest for what we're working on. And next week is a big week for us. There's some big changes in my life hopefully going to happen, and we're going to be very optimistic for it. We're going to hope for the best, but we're going to dive straight in and try to change our life dramatically, and there's a learning curve to that also. I've been hurting physically like heck. Excuse me. You know, more activity and more stress brings a lot more pain, and when you've been injured like I have, I don't want to rush it because, boy, I'm already feeling the changes, and if I go too much, I just won't be good at all. So I kind of take things at my own pace, and when I feel stressed and burdened, I slow down and I take a fast break. It's a way that I've figured maybe you need 1 or 2 days just to settle down and get caught up on you, figure out what's going on in your own life. And that tends to put me back on track and get me going in the direction that I need to be going in. I don't want the world and all of its commotions and fumbled ways to control my life and where I want to take it to. I've let that happen way too many times. I've let life dictate through other people's dreams and motivations, and we don't do that here anymore. We just kind of take fast breaks. We get our head back in the game and then focus. Because if we let our head spin too much, that's when my fibromyalgia starts flaring up. And then I'm like a 110-year-old man. And I have been working hard to try to figure out how to change that part of my life. It's part of my life now. I have to deal with it. But to be effective, I've got to learn to address those trigger points that make that stress happen. And I figured out you just got to take a fast break and really look at what you're doing and refocus on what you are doing. Get your list back in order. Maybe reorientate and put things in different perspective. So that's one of those things that you do when you're coming out of this cycle that you've been in. You know, being disabled is not fun, and it's not an easy lifestyle. A lot of people get sick, though, and because of their disability, they want to shut down and quit. And believe me, I understand that. It's easy to quit. And the stress of, being disabled is not easy. I don't want to get on to pity me, because that's not what it's about. I don't pity myself. I try to figure myself out and pull myself up. And more people need to do that. You know, I used to let these little negative strikes on me keep me down for months at a time. Well, now I recognize what's going on, and I put a stop to it by taking a fast break for me and changing my routine for maybe a day or two, and getting a new perspective on what I want to do. And that helps me keep going forward. So this little trick of fast breaks have helped me understand how to control myself a little better. And that's what I do. I tinker around until I get it right. You know, everything that I take on, it may take me a while to do it, but I don't give up. You know, I shut up and I rethink. So that's a new key phrase for me. But anyway, life's about changing who we are all the time. And once you give up, you're done. And I never have been one to give up. Oh, this last spell has been a big spell for me, and it took a while to get out of my disability mentality. And when that happens, you've got to put a stop to it. You know, we all have limitations, but we have to work towards something. You know, the way life goes is if you just stop, you're going to shrivel up and die soon. And I went there for a while, and believe me, it was at that point of death. You know, my body was just gone. My mind was gone. I didn't care. And I really have never been there in life. where I had not cared. My body, I let it just go to the point because of stress and, society. I let society control my emotions, my fears, my anxieties, and I wasn't driving my own Ferrari. Well, yeah, I'm back in the driver's seat, and my life is changing, and it may take a while. That's all I have is time, and I'm learning to overcome the pain, and most of all, the way the world will make you depressed just by the weight of the world. That's just the way things go. And like Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. And we all should have that mentality instead of giving up. Oh, I've been beat down. I've been told so many times, you don't have what it takes. I do have what it takes. It's just finding the right tools, the right atmosphere, and the right people. I've been working over 20 years on this. This particular free circle has been going for 20 years, but I have been really working on it my whole life. I just did not realize it. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, and I didn't want to get involved with making Free Circle a company, a product. I didn't want to become a 501c3 for a long time. That's why I've been here doing this for 20 years. But only this year I've decided I've been doing things wrong. I need to step up to the plate. And that's where change happens. And that's what we're doing. A little here, a little there. So, my base platform, I have to get set up where I can roll out information on a consistent basis. And that's kind of what I've been doing here in the background as I took my little break time here. So we have to reinvent and keep going. So I do have things going, and like always, I don't give up. I just find other ways. I retool myself. I reinvent and I overcome. I don't let the naysayers or stressors get to me like I used to. And that's a trick and a technique by taking those fast breaks. When we take those fast break moments and understand what those stressors are, we can move on a lot quicker. I've been to the point where, it puts me to the ground, pain, and stress is not good. And if we learn how to control our anxiety and our stress, our physical pain is a lot less. So when you deal with arthritis and, fibromyalgia, stress does not do you good. So that's my little technique about taking a fast break, and get your head back in the game. Play it to win it. And that's what we do. I'm not one that gives up. I may take a break to figure out, reinvent, retool, but by golly, I will always get up and I will always get in the game. Put me in the game. That's my life. I've always done that. And I've let others try to put me down to the point where I almost gave up on me, my dream, my hope, my desire. And it took me a while, 10 years. Took 10 years of understanding, trying to learn why, what, where. But once we figure out, we keep moving. And yeah, so there's a lot going on the plate, and I'm learning to control the stresses, and the fear component is big. That will give you a lot of stress. Those times in your life when all those people told you couldn't do it, you'll never do it, those all tend to come back a lot when something tries to. If you've come from meager beginnings, simple-minded people, well, it's hard to pull your bootstraps up and say, no, I'm better than this, and I will do this. And that's a journey. That's a lifelong struggle. And yeah, reinventing, getting your head back in the game. And the most important of all is education. Keep learning. A lot of people, after they hit that 50 mark, they say, well, I've learned it all. I can't relearn anything. No, you can always learn something. If you say you can't learn, you may as well stay disabled, because you're disabled. But if you tell yourself you can find a way, you will find a way. And there is a way. You've just got to do it. And yeah, that's kind of what we do. We take our time and do what we need to do and get it done. Because that's how change happens. Change doesn't happen if you just sit back and let depression set in and the pain drive you. Pain will drive you, but you can let that pain drive you in a positive direction instead of a negative direction. So what we do with our time and our efforts really matter. And a lot of people don't take time to study what's going on with themselves to create a new beginning. And that's what we've been doing. That's what we'll continue to work on. And we have lots of plans, lots of hopes, and I have a lot of optimistic outlook on this. I have optimistic outlook. So yeah, if we keep optimism in our life and we keep moving forward instead of listening to those people, well, you'll progress. It takes time. The Sistine Chapel was not painted overnight. But once it was painted, look how long it has lasted. See, and that's what I don't look for followers. I don't want followers. I want leaders. If I surround myself with leaders, I'm a better leader. If I surround myself with followers, well, I'm just going to follow the good leaders. And that's not how you do life. If you are struggling, put yourself right in the midst of the professionals. If you don't have the will to try, well, you just don't have the will. And that's a struggle that every individual has to achieve. We have to overcome that. We have to move forward with what we want to do. So take time, study, learn. It may take a while. It may take you longer than other people. That doesn't matter. Build on you. That's what matters. And each day is a struggle. I'm there with you. I do it every day, and we learn as we go. We struggle, we learn. But the most important thing in life, if we learn something, shouldn't we pass that on so others don't struggle as hard the next time? Ed, Free Circle, out.